Most people see a scheme. I see a blank canvas for a mechanical masterpiece. Welcome back to the Academy. Today, we aren't just building Mesa, we are engineering a goddess. We are stripping away the meta-slop. If you want a basic build, you're in the wrong place. If you want the logic, let's get to work. We have to understand the DNA. Mesa isn't just about holding a fourth. Survivability comes in three mechanical layers. Shatter shield for that 95% damage reduction. And then shooting gallery. Jam enemy guns and keep the pressure off. And then finally, a third layer, shield gating. Our final safety net for when things get chaotic. But she also has a passive. Plus 50 health if you don't equip a melee. But all that thought, we're intentionally gonna break that rule later for a much better trade-off. Let's look at the stats. Now the numbers are roughly 250%. I know it says 222, but trust me, later on it'll make sense. Now, we are trying to push beyond that ideal 200% to make every ability hit its peak. And at 45%, most players would panic, but we don't. We traded efficiency for raw power because we have built an engine that doesn't need a high cap. In the academy, we don't use crutches. If we come and have a look at the build itself, you might be wondering what is happening, and I'm here to tell you exactly what's going to happen so that you can understand how things work. So, as you can see, we're using two Archon mods. With these two, we're going to bend the rules. Archon Vitality is going to help us double our heat procs. This is the heart of most of the regulator builds that you will notice later on. And then, of course, we have Archon Continuity, so that if our regulators proc toxin, it will also apply corrosive. And here's the build. As you can see, I have 4 configurations in total. This is a raw any setup where we would effectively shoot gate effectively with both fast deflection, Arcane Aegis, and that's about it. And also Augur Secrets to help us to get overshields to help us shoot gate. And then we have Arcane Velocity for that extra fire rate, because we want fire rate as much as possible without dreading off anything else. Now, here's the other build. It's essentially the same. We have replaced the first ability. That is about it. First rule of the lesson: stop using Hornet Strike. Since we are sitting roughly at 250% strength, Mesa's innate damage bonus is already on an ocean. Adding a base damage mod is just a wasted slot. Instead, we focus on multiplicative scaling. For more fire rate, more multi-shot, more elements. We aren't just hitting harder, we are hitting faster. If we come and have a look at the regulators, I have 4 builds already. Since we have that Archon continuity, keep in mind that the toxin that you guys see on screen will also turn into corrosive. And also, I will show a little nice secret for my fellow veterans, that we will essentially benefit from 2 elements with a pistol elementalist, which is heat and toxin. And this is the first build. This is a crit build that's focused on crit damage and crit chance. We get a critical chance from secondary innervate. And then for second build, same build except we have switched out our galvanized diffusion for pistol accuracy. I know technically this will be cancelled out of the multi-shot, but it's okay. We don't need the multi-shot at all. Instead, we need more fire rate. So we're not here for more multi-shot. I know a lot of people won't be wondering why I have this. It's not for multi-shot necessarily. It's mostly there for the fire rate. And then, if we come at the third build, this is a heat corrosive setup. I don't need crit mods because this is a status based setup where we utilize um, status essentially. And then over here, this is a viral slash heat setup again, where we will be utilizing Pistol Elementalist the most with our slash procs, heat procs, all of the good stuff. That was essentially the Regulators, Mesa Prime, that's okay. Now the question is, what companion should you pair it up with? In reality, you can pair it up with anything, but for efficiency and survivability, I have chosen two specific companions for today. First companion will be Wyrm Prime. Wyrm Prime is probably one of my favorite companions in the entire game. This is our tactical choice for both shield getting status control with the negate mod. It will cleanse us of status effects, and Guardian will essentially help us pop our shields back up for a better shield gate. And plus we have the bond mods that will give us both more fire rate, damage. My Wyrm Prime's weapon, I use anything, it doesn't matter. This is my Burst Laser Prime build that I use. If you're curious to know what I use a viral heat setup for my journal. This is a journal build so that I can prime enemies and also shield gate because of the aggro mods as well. And then for our companion, our second companion is going to be the Panzer Vapafila. This is the build that I'm running. This is an overall general build for our status spreading of viral. And then here's the claws that I use. Now then, for my Archon shards of choice, there are many ways to go and play with Mesa. This is what I use as a comfort pick. You can, of course, if you want to have more of a budget friendly setup, you can use Equilibrium instead of Prime Flow on your Mesa, and then switch these two purple shards out for blue ones for more shields, and you should be completely fine. But this is more of an expensive route because purple shards are expensive to get in the first place. So when I mentioned that 45% efficiency, well, that's why these two purple shards are here. They are here for the equilibrium effect, and then we have one duration Tauforged shard for that sweet 170% duration because Mesa has channel abilities, and having duration on channel abilities will actually lessen the amount of energy being eaten or burned through. And then we have one ability strength for us to be able to reach that over 200% ability strength. And then finally we have casting speed. Casting speed, why? Because we want our abilities to shine. And speed is life in Steelpath. If you cast your abilities too slow, the chances of you getting one-shotted is pretty much 100%. You're going to be one-shotted. You want your abilities to be as fast as possible and have a constant flow of kills and everything. Now that the basics are out of the way, okay, I say basics, but it's a lot of stuff in the background, but you get the point. Anyways, so I'm gonna show you guys two cool methods of making this Mesa even stronger without actually knowing, what's gonna happen or how it works. Okay, so remember when I mentioned a passive? Well, we can trade it off. We're still going to equip a melee, but not just any melee. We are going to equip Venato Prime. Why, you might ask? Well, I will show you in a bit. And no, you don't need a specific build for this. You can use any build. It doesn't matter. You just need to have Venato Prime equipped. Why? It is because of the following. If an enemy shoots you while your Shadow Shield is active, your Venato Prime will put a specific element on them called Tau status. And what does Tau status do? It makes enemies more vulnerable to status. Basically, it's like viral times 10. I don't mean that literally, but you get the point. It's very, very, very good. Now, that's one secret thing that I've shown, and then for our final secret thingy, I'm gonna show you another secret, and how this secret okay, I say secret, but it's a synergy, but how this synergy basically ties back to the regulators and why I use Archon Vitality. If you come and have a look at the build for my Lorak, you can use any school class. It doesn't matter which one, but I'm going to show you the base one or base build that I have for a generalized build. Okay, so we use it on Uskus. Why? If your operator kills an enemy, you will essentially get more secondary weapon heat damage for the duration of the mission. That is OP. So even if you die, this will still be active no matter what. If the mission's over, then the effect will be gone. That's how crazy it is. And this is the mod I use for multi-shot. I use this again, more damage, base damage, sling efficiency, more crit chance, whatever have you, more fire rate. And if you're curious what amp I use the 547 amp. If you want to know what's the parts, is the Cantic Prism, Certus Brace, and the Fahid Scaffold. So instead of just letting you guys think or believe that this build is not good or isn't good, I'm going to show you how good it is. So this is a mission in Void Steel Path, whatever you want to call it, and that's just me killing the enemies with my operator. I just gotta get a few kills with my operator. And our Zit and Uskus is almost maxed. When it's maxed, if you want to know when it's maxed, it's at 250%. That'll be shown shortly on the top right of the screen. Let me just okay, it's there. Alright, so it's at 250%. Very nice. And since we have a lot of range, we are barely going to be touched. And here is how it performs. So I'm going to go down here the hallway. And since we have a good amount of range, I'm effectively hitting every single enemy. The range, however, does not affect the range on the weapons itself. It's just the range that you can see enemies and whatever have you, essentially. And yeah, this is just a blank canvas. There are many ways to build and mod Mesa. I'm just showing my favorite setup and stuff that I've learned through playing with it. And I do hope this video helps you guys. And yeah, for when you are deciding if you should or shouldn't pick up Mesa's Heirloom. For me personally, I'm very excited for that heirloom. She looks very cool. I like how she looks. And yeah, I'm having no issues at all. Since my companion, my robotic companion, the Wyrm Prime, is priming them with viral and heat, I have no issues. And since I'm using Roar on this build, we are essentially triple dipping our elemental damage with both heat and toxin because of Pistol Elementalist. I know a lot of people would probably say that modding for pure corrosive is probably better. While that is true, I argue and say that using other stuff like what you call it, other stuff like Archon, continuity, whatever have you, like you increase your status chance even further. So yeah, your pure damage will be way more, but your status damage would be even more. And yeah, you can effectively use any Hamlet ability, it doesn't matter. The first ability is good. I've seen some crazy stuff on YouTube about her first ability. But yeah, this is just a little showcase. Gonna wait for the Acolyte to spawn to show how she performs. And we're gonna wait for this guy to spawn as well. Oh, the Acolyte is spawning soon. That's nice. Yes, Captain Wolf. I know that Captain Wolf's, what you call it, ability does cancel out. So let me just do this. There we go. Acolyte is gone. Melted, done, dusted. No issues at all. And I have secondary fortifier on my secondary to help us even more with survivability. And I am not struggling at all when it comes to surviving. I know some people also equip ember shards or those orange shard stuff. Honestly, it's kind of a waste because you already have secondary innovate and it doesn't do it like it does red crits, don't get me wrong, but you're better off making it reversible for basically anything, everything, and it's too expensive. That's also a thing, it's too expensive. But yeah, I would say probably bring a nice weapon to kill some enemies to get some energy back. And then you just kill them. Alright, let's say to extraction and we can see how much kills we got. Almost there. So we've been here for around 5 or 6 minutes. Okay, almost 7, whatever. And we got almost 600 kills. So yeah, it's like 100 kills per minute. That's more than enough. Yeah, that's the build showcase. So yeah, this is for the players who wants to master mechanics, not just follow the crowd. It's all about the logic. It's about the efficiency. If you're ready to graduate from the slop, hit that subscribe button. I'm Swifty ZA, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Let's see ya.